Hello, this is Jack from Teaching ESL Online, and today we're going to look at various revenue streams for online teachers. So basically talking about how you can earn money as an online teacher and the different ways that we can do this. So I've got 8 to share with you. Now, I did make a video in the past where I talked about 6 ways, but I wanted to update this with some recent information, also some more thoughts that I have about these different things. Now, if you don't know who I am an online teacher. I teach English language learners and English language teachers or foreign language teachers too. So I have been doing this online since 2011. And I just want to share some of the things that I've tried, some of the things that have worked for me and have worked for others too. And a common theme here is to think about where you currently are in your teaching business and think about where you want to be. So what you're currently doing and what you want to do in the future. And these revenue streams are going to depend on many factors in terms of what you should be focusing your energy on now. But we can get something done right now. We can build for the future. Again, it just depends on you. So let's look at them in the order that I've written them down. The first one is consulting, or in terms of languages, one-to-one lessons. So this is where you meet with somebody online, one-to-one, and you teach them. So if you are teaching Spanish, then you can teach them Spanish one-to-one. If you are teaching web design, then you can meet with somebody and teach them web design and what they should be doing with their website in an online classroom. And I highly recommend using Zoom for this, Zoom software. I will leave a link in the description that you can use. It's an affiliate link. You'll probably only need the free plan unless you are teaching group lessons, and we'll come on to that soon. So consulting, many advantages to this. A lot of people see this as like a negative, even to begin with, saying, I want to be able to scale my business. I want to be able to stop getting paid per hour and instead do something else. And I think that's really smart. But you gain a lot out of consulting. You gain a lot out of consulting. Because firstly, if you're just getting started, it is very difficult to earn the type of money you want to earn by selling products and courses straight away. There is a lot of effort that goes into creating and selling an online course that does well. And again, we'll talk about online courses soon. There is a lot of effort that goes into that, a lot of work, because you need to build the course and build an audience. To earn something to begin with, I highly recommend consulting, because convincing one person to take a lesson with you where it's a one-to-one lesson requires a lot less effort than seeing or to convince somebody to sign up for an online course and to get that same lifetime value out of them. So when you think about it, when it comes to, let's just say, teaching Spanish, when you're doing consultations or these online lessons, charging maybe 15, 20, 25, 30, $50 an hour if you can get that high straight away, and this person's taking 2 lessons a week and then they refer your friend, it's difficult to get that kind of revenue straight away on some type of like subscription course or course where they pay up front. Because if they just take 5 lessons, that's $250 at the $50 price point. It's very difficult to get that from an online course. So when it comes to scaling, you'll need to have the course readily available and also the audience there too. And I'll talk more specifically about numbers with that soon. But there's also another benefit to doing this. It's because you can meet with people and really learn about their problems. So if you're into web design and you want to learn about the problems that people have with web design, working with people on a one-to-one basis is a great way to reach that point, to really understand the people that you want to serve, the people who are in your audience. The downside to consulting is that it's not scalable unless you hire other people to do it for you. because we only have so many hours in a day that we can dedicate to this. But I think it's a great way to get started as an online teacher. And as you build your client base, you can put up your prices, you can reduce your teaching hours and start building something else on the side. But yeah, consulting is a great way to get started. Another thing you might want to do is something like group lessons. And this is where, excuse me, you are teaching 2, 3, 4, 5 people in your lesson at the same time. So they are live there with you and you are teaching them at the same time. And you can run these like group lessons over a specific period of time. You can stop and start them, and you're a little bit more in control about the timing of these too. The difficulty is getting enough people to sign up to that specific time. Again, this is a problem with the audience. If you have a small audience, it's going to be difficult to do this. I made a lesson, I made a video on group lessons recently, so go check that out because I talk about that in more depth. Okay, so consulting, I think, is great when you have a small audience and you want to bring money in straight away. Let's now talk about other things where the more your audience grows, the more this is going to apply to what we're going to talk about now. And let's just talk about some specific numbers too, because a small audience might mean something different to different people. I think when I launched my first course, I think I had 500 people on my email list, and it did really well. Now I get around 150 people, 120, 150 people a day signing up to my email list. That for both the brands I have. Sometimes it's more than that. But the key is, this is because I've built up all of these things over time, and I do a lot of content marketing, and that type of content marketing I do is evergreen, and it constantly brings people into my email list. But when I first got started, it was a smaller list. I started by doing, firstly, group lessons, but also an online course. And I have developed that course over time and put more value into it as it has grown. But let's now talk about affiliate marketing. Okay, affiliate marketing. And this has changed a lot, I think, in many people's perception. Because in the past, it kind of seemed like everyone was sneaky about affiliate marketing. That if you had an affiliate link, that you'd legally do the right things so people were aware, but you didn't want to mention that you received commission if someone bought from you. That was like the culture 5-10 years ago. Now you'll just notice a lot of people on YouTube saying, hey, I've got affiliate links down below, please use them. It's at no extra cost to you. It's become more accepted that people who are creators or online teachers are going to use affiliate links. And I think as long as you are totally honest with it, and that's something that I'm really proud of, that I've always been super honest about the products that I promote that have affiliate programs. And I'll say, this is not for you if this. I'll say, this is not for you if this. Or you only really need this if you're going to do that. So for example, with Zoom, I promote Zoom as an affiliate. And I recommend people sign up to Zoom because A, the product is amazing. It's the best one I've ever experienced. But also I say, the free version is probably all you need. You don't need to sign up to the paid plan unless you're going to do this. I don't get any money if you sign up to the free version, but I would receive a commission if you sign up to the paid plan. So it's just an example of just being completely honest, and the affiliate sales will come. They'll take care of themselves if you are honest with it and you reach enough people and you teach people. And I think this is part of it, because you can earn an income doing affiliate stuff if you do it right, just by teaching for free online. So instead of doing something online where we're talking about content marketing, like YouTube videos and Facebook posts and blog posts, where you're constantly thinking about generating leads or generating core sales or one-to-one lessons. With affiliate marketing, it's just all about getting your content out there as much as possible and saying these are the tools I use in order for me to do what I do. So if you check the description, you'll see a bunch of links. I state they're affiliate links, and this is the software that I use so that you can do things like create online courses, so that you can use email marketing, so that you can build your own website. And affiliate marketing is becoming a lot more accepted, a lot less sneaky, and it's a really, in a way, fun business model if you can make it work. Now, there are many things to think about when it comes to affiliate marketing, because it depends what you are teaching and what kind of things you can sell through this. So I'm a big technology, specifically camera person, where I love to watch videos about the latest camera reviews. And camera reviews are everywhere. People do such a good job with these. And people do this for free because, guess what? If you buy a camera through their affiliate link, the product item is usually between $1,000 and $3,000. That's a large commission, where I think on Amazon it might be 5%, something like that. So it depends on the market that you have. For me, I generally promote products that are for online teachers, like the email marketing, active campaign down below, lead pages for landing pages, Teachable for online courses. And again, those links are in the description. But I kind of like this business model because you can go out into the world and just teach for free. You're not worried about saying, oh, this is free content, this is paid content. I've got a book about this, so I can't really go into detail about every minute point. You can just go out there and teach. But again, this is usually an audience problem because we need a lot of people seeing that. And the popular affiliate programs are highly competitive. So if you're thinking about like website hosting, like, okay, I help people build websites. If someone signs up through my link, I get $65 from Bluehost, or maybe like $100 elsewhere. If I get so many people, start doing these calculations. And the best of the best are already doing this. So it's very hard to break out into that world, especially when it comes to SEO. But there are other ways you can do it too. So affiliates. Let's now talk about ad revenue and sponsorships. Okay, ad revenue and sponsorships. So this is a model that has changed over time. In the past, a lot of people relied on Google AdSense. So they would create a website, get a lot of traffic to that website, and excuse me, and people would click on ads, and people then earn money from that click. And it's a model with Google AdSense that isn't working as much because obviously people are using ad blocker, people are using different platforms to get their information, and they're also using their phones, and you're just not as likely to click on something when you're on your phone. The experience isn't as good. But that ad revenue has now moved on to platforms such as YouTube, where, for example, this video I think it's monetized, and you, as a creator, you can create videos and then get a shared revenue with YouTube when somebody watches your video and clicks something or takes action on an ad. Again, we are talking about a large amount of people in order to make this worthwhile. I keep it on there because it's extra income. I think if I do a quick calculation, it's probably like, I can't do a quick calculation, can I? It's probably around 3 to 5% of my income, I think, comes from YouTube ad revenue. So bigger channels do a lot better with this. And obviously it just depends on the watch time and the views that you get. So this can work, but you have to be a mega channel to do it. And also it depends on your niche and where people come from, because the type of if a lot of people are watching your videos in countries where the advertising rates are low, then you're not going to get as much. But if you're also talking about things like mortgages, where the competition for the ad companies is really high, and therefore the cost per click is really high, therefore you get a lot more of that. So it depends on the types of ads and the people that you target with the ad revenue. And a lot of people who do ad revenue also think about sponsorships. So you'll probably notice a lot of channels say, and this video is sponsored by Squarespace, or this video is sponsored by Skillshare, something like that. So these companies reach out to people and say, hey, we'd like to sponsor your YouTube videos. And there'll be some kind of arrangement where they'll give money based on maybe performance, or just based on per video, an ongoing relationship. It could be any kind of agreement. I've had quite a lot of companies reach out to me. I've never done a sponsored video or a sponsored post. I've come close a few times, but I just always feel what a lot of people are asking me is a little bit too much. And they always want you to come up with an offer. I'd prefer if they came up with an offer with a standard contract, and then I could say, all right, change this, change that, increase the price. We've got a deal. But sponsorship is definitely a big thing now, and it's big on especially YouTube and Instagram. Those are the two main platforms that companies are looking for. They're looking for, the influencers, creators. Let's just call them online teachers who can put the products in front of people. And it could be a shout out. It could just be like, this video is sponsored by, or it could be a video where you base the whole lesson or video around that product. And I'm sure you've seen some videos that do that. This revenue model, again, is a lot of people just rely on this, ad revenue and sponsorship. And it's an interesting one. It's not a revenue that I would just like to focus on solely. I would like to introduce more of it if it made sense. And especially if I did something like a podcast where it was, very regimented, once a week, twice a week. And again, someone comes to me. But also, just to say, there are more and more popping up these kind of programs where you can get connected with sponsors. So as a teacher, you can go onto these platforms. I wish I could remember one of the names right now, but it's like a third-party platform that connects sponsors with teachers so that you can easily just have these arrangements made up. So we've talked about consulting, then group lessons, affiliate marketing, ad revenue and sponsorship. I'm putting ad revenue and sponsorship as one. Should really separate them out, but yeah, I see a lot of these like overlap. Next one, let's talk about services and giving feedback. I'm just going to tick these off as I go. Services and giving feedback. I actually really like this one, and I want to do more of it. And it's where you are working asynchronously with a student, which means that you are not meeting them in real time, but instead it's kind of like you're marking their homework. You're giving them feedback on something that they can send you. And somebody reached out to me a couple of days ago saying, hey, we're going to make this easier for you to do this as a creator. And I need to look into their service a little bit more, but I'm very intrigued by it. And also I'm going to look at some of the competition too. But basically, there are various ways that you can do this. And I mainly offer this as bonuses for certain programs that I offer, or just part of the program. So my course for English learners has this whole tutorial on how they can improve the sounds of English, the intonation, the stress. And I have them upload, or they just click a button saying start recording. They do specific speaking tasks. They repeat certain words, and then I give them feedback, again, through audio. So I listen to their speaking exam, let's call it an exam, and then I give them feedback. And it's such a great thing to offer as part of a course where they want to be able to get feedback on what they're doing. So you can like kind of put this into different products, or you can have it as a standalone thing. Now, I would love to do something where I critique and give feedback on people's landing pages and websites, because I'm really good at doing that. I see big results when I make these changes with people. It won't take me that long to do, but the value I can give, I believe, is really high. So if you are interested in doing that, just get in touch with me, and maybe we can do some of the beta testing for that. But that's something that I can offer. So let's say you are a singing teacher. You can have people upload their singing tasks to you, and you can critique them. You don't need to do it in real time. If you help people with presentations, then you can have them upload a presentation. Again, you can give them feedback. It doesn't have to be in real time. In fact, I think it's even more valuable to do it where it's asynchronous. And this could be in any kind of niche, could be any niche, anything that you teach. You can do this where that your students can give you things and you can give them feedback on it. Now, I've used various programs to help me with this. I used to use SoundCloud because you could leave feedback at very specific points and talk about the way that people, in terms of learning English, pronounce things differently or incorrectly. You can give them the correct version. I now use SpeakPipe because you can reply in the app. It's very good. You can use Google Drive, shared folders, all that type of stuff. But I really like this, given a service asynchronously, either as part of a course or as a standalone thing. Next one is guest speaking. I'm not going to talk too much about this because it's not something I've ever done, but I do know it's a model that works for certain people. So they will become known as a teacher, an influencer, creator, whatever you want to call them. And then companies will reach out and say, hey, we're holding an event. Do you want to come and do some guest speaking? Do you want to give a presentation on a certain topic? It's a very popular thing to do. I'd like to maybe do this, but it's not a priority for me. It's not one of those things where I've always thought, oh, how good would it be to be on stage and give a presentation? And I think I did really enjoy it. Really enjoy the whole process of it and giving that presentation and meeting more people in the field that I want to be in. But it's not something that I've gone out there to pursue. So guest speaking can work for, or does work for, a lot of people. Now let's talk about, before we get into the last one, ebooks and other products. I say ebooks, but it could just be a regular paper book too. So this is where you create products that people can download or buy. So obviously, if you are teaching web design, you can write a book on the 10 best practices for web design. Sell that on Amazon, or you can sell that on your own website. So a book or other materials. Other materials might include just any kind of material that your students could benefit from. So it could be, again, an ebook. It could be in terms of languages, audio that they can download, or flashcards that they can download. Anything that would benefit them in terms of what they want to learn. Let's now get into online courses, because that's what I have focused on in the last 4 years, and I think it's one of the strongest business models out there, where you create an online course and then people can either download this or get access to this if they purchase it. And this is becoming more and more popular. And that's why platforms such as Teachable have been doing so well recently, because a lot more people want to do this. Now, in the past, the only way to do it was to do it on your own website. And in the past, you had to know coding. But then along came plugins like MemberMouse that integrated with WordPress. And it was like an all-in-one solution. So you can create this member backend, take payments, have members in there, and you can just put everything inside your course using a WordPress website. Then along came Udemy. Udemy is, I won't say it's unique, but it's different in that it's a marketplace for students, in addition to having teachers create and sell their courses and host the courses. So I'm sure many of you are aware of Udemy. I'm intrigued by it. I've never done anything with it. And I think the main reason is the pricing structure that they have, where they are constantly discounting courses. Constantly. And I actually think this ends up with high quality courses not going on Udemy. I think that is a result of the pricing structure. Because if you think about anyone in your niche who's at the top of their game in that niche, I can't think of anyone who is putting a course on Udemy unless it's like a super brief overall guide to doing something, and or they have amazing revenue streams elsewhere. And in the past, a lot of people used Udemy as like a lead generation or for affiliate marketing. So there were all these free courses on how to build your own website. And this was on Udemy. People would buy it, but then use the get free access and then use affiliate links. And that was like a revenue stream for affiliate income. They have now stopped, from what I know, teachers putting on affiliate links on their website, in the courses. And I can't think of anyone who's at the top of the niche who's creating really high valuable products going on Udemy. Maybe people who have some kind of agreement on there, because that Udemy also want people to join it, people with a large list, with a large audience, so they can bring new students onto that platform. Because I imagine the average person on Udemy buys 5 to 10 courses. So obviously, if they have somebody bringing them onto the platform, then they're going to go out there and buy more courses. But the pricing model has always put me off. Then there's the other way to do it, which is it's kind of like a middle ground, but without the student marketplace. Platforms such as Thinkific, I think it's called, and Teachable. And I spent a lot of time researching these two, and I have never used them to sell a course. But in the future, I think I'm going to go with Teachable. Maybe the near future too. Now, Teachable is a platform where it takes care of the hosting, the design of the course, and the sales of the course for you, but you have to market it. So it's like putting it on your own website and doing your own marketing, but they take care of a lot of the technical side of things. And I actually really like it for that reason. It's also a platform that I've seen grow. And when I nearly started using it a couple of years ago, there were a few reasons why I didn't. And they have now updated it so that all those reasons why I didn't want to do it have now been taken away. And they've updated things like their checkout experience. Because in the past, it was very difficult for a student just to like sign up to a course. They had to sign in, and then they were confused about the sign in, then they couldn't get to the checkout page again. It was very confusing, but now it's like very simple: name, address, credit card number, sign up. Very simple and nice checkout experience. So Teachable is a great way for people to create and sell online courses. Again, the affiliate link for Teachable is in the description below. So we've covered a lot here: consulting, group lessons, offering services, guest speaking, ad revenue, sponsorship, affiliate marketing, ebooks and other materials, and online courses. Now, this is kind of interesting, but the majority of my income comes from online courses. I want to start doing other things to diversify that income too. So I'm looking at doing better things with affiliate marketing, and also maybe sponsorships in the future. So those are two things that I'd like to do. I also want to do more consulting and also offer more services as well. Because again, the consulting is something I enjoy. I don't want to have to rely on it, but every now and then I like to take on a few people, work with them on a one-to-one basis. Then I can just learn more about the kind of struggles people have, whether this is like a mental block or like a technical block or something else that they're doing wrong, knowledge gap, and then working with people to overcome those obstacles and we can improve what they're doing. So yeah, I'd like to do a little bit more of that. Again, if you want to do any kind of mentoring with me, just get in touch with me. But a big thing here as well is with all of these things, except for affiliate marketing and ad revenue, you have to create and build an audience. So you have to build your own audience in order to make this work. So that is always the number one thing. Always the number one thing is how you can grow your audience, how you can attract the right type of people into your audience. And when I talk about audience, it's focusing on things that you own in addition to YouTube numbers or Facebook likes. So it's having email lists. Like I said, the vast majority of my income comes from online courses, and the vast majority of that income comes from email, and the way I use email. So I think I've linked below an article I have on email marketing. Go read that because it's going to really help you think about building an audience and using it over the long term. So yeah, I didn't have my messages up. Let's have a look at the messages. This is cool. So Dave Trotter's here. Maybe a podcast like Lexicon Valley. I just did a presentation for someone and it took a lot longer to edit than I thought. I thought it would be 3 hours project. It ended up being 9 hours. Speak English with Vanessa. Hey Vanessa. I think I'm going to start using SpeakPipe or something like that. Yeah, SpeakPipe is fantastic. Hi Tam, how could we find clients? Yeah, so go below and click the button which says vid training. There's a link that goes to the vid training, and you'll be able to go through that because I talk about how to find clients. And it's not just about finding clients, it's how to sell ebooks, how to sell online courses, how to sell services, etc. Holly, forgive me for sounding argumentative, but I found several extremely good courses in Udemy. They try to get you join your tribes and produce other products that are not courses. Yeah, a lot of people with Udemy, like they will see it as like an audience building thing. I think again, it depends because if somebody on Udemy puts the whole soul into it, then yes, you might find some really good courses on there. So I know some people who produce like 20, 30 courses, but in order to make that work, they need to just invest everything they have into Udemy. I think the downside of Udemy is that if you have that as your only income source, it can be susceptible because it's their rule, their platform. They can change things. They might shut down, and it becomes very problematic in that way. Yeah, I'm going to answer questions. Please let me know if you have any questions about this. Now, yeah, so what I was saying is, with all of these things, you have to build your own audience. Now, with consulting, with one-to-one lessons, it's not as important to build an audience because you can do a lot of like one-to-one emailing, getting in touch with people on LinkedIn, using classified postings, having people email you, etc. And then a lot of people grow through referrals. Having your own audience is going to be more beneficial, but I don't think it is completely necessary right at the start. The other things where you're talking about needing large numbers to make it work, like ebooks, like services, online courses, this is where you will need an audience. Now, just to go back to one more thing, with affiliates and ad revenue and sponsorship, it's not as important to build an email list, but I think it is highly recommended. Because yes, you can get your ad revenue on YouTube, get your sponsorships, never have an email list and do fantastically well. The same with affiliate marketing. You can put a blog post out there, people take action, click your affiliate links, and you're doing really well. But you'll do even better if you have an email list, because you can send people more products through email and also help build your audience through email too. So let's do some questions. Nasia, I want to teach kids business to GCSE and A-level students. How do you recommend I go forward? Yeah, maybe do it in your local area first. So think about ways to find students in your local area. Know that this is also going to, a lot of this might be seasonal, where people want to revise and learn just before the exam. But it's the same as like any other thing. You need to have an initial offer. You need to get the word out there. And obviously I've never looked into the whole laws with working with children. So look into that too, because I've never really taught children before. But I think obviously you're going to have to speak to parents. Speak to parents here. What do you think about the platform Classing? I have no idea about this platform. Sorry. There's something that I find difficult, which is how to hire teachers working with me. Yeah, it can be problematic. I've tried to do it in the past. I ended up just passing on students to people. Sometimes I had some people to teach lessons, including somebody who might be watching. But it just became like you become a middleman and trying to think about the best way to take that kind of commission. On the other hand, if you have a system set up where it's more or less all automated and teachers are working through your platform, something like italki, but on a lower level, then that can work. But finding teachers shouldn't be difficult. So many teachers are looking for work. They're looking for work like all the time. Go on Facebook forums, go on Dave's ESL Cafe, go on other forums, use Upwork or something like that and hire people from there. Excuse me. How to be more effective on social media for advertising business? Great question. It's something I am constantly thinking about. So how to be more effective on social media. But again, it goes back to having that initial offer and using email to actually make it effective. But here are just some quick tips. It's to speak to the people who you want to help. So don't try to like go off on tangents too much, and try to maybe like join a Facebook group that just isn't ever going to work. Instead, do talk about things that will attract the type of people that you want to attract. So I know that kind of sounds very generic, but in my case, I'm starting to talk a lot more about speaking in English and how students can improve that, because that's what I am teaching. So I could talk about, for example, like grammar rules here and there, and like how to learn this grammar, but I'm not teaching grammar in a course. And yes, I'm going to attract certain people for that, but the message just isn't as strong as if I was talking about the method I'm using and showing people how to use that method. So I think that's an important thing. Also, don't feel like you have to be on every platform and use it, inside out. Like, does that even make sense? Know it inside out, or use it all the time. For example, I mainly use YouTube. I use a little bit of Instagram and a little bit of Facebook. So YouTube is my main thing, and then a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of Instagram. I think that's one of those things. Um, so yeah, and Holly said, think about social media to be friendly, engaging, not so business-like. Yeah, I agree. A lot of that is just to use the platform as it is intended to be used. So when you are on Facebook, I feel like the phone videos work a little bit better because that's the kind of videos that people mostly see on Facebook. On YouTube, it's a little bit more polished. On Instagram, it's a lot of fun. It's just about fun, and it's just about you. It's hard to teach a lesson on Instagram. It's just more about the person. So it's more of a branding thing from my experience. Twitter's about conversation and engagement. Do you recommend paying for the TEFL course or buying it off Groupon to teach English? I don't know about buying it off Groupon. And I don't really have a strong opinion on TEFL courses. I took one a long time ago, and I remember parts of it. It kind of helped me with grammar, mainly, like to understand grammar. And not necessarily how to teach it, but just like basic grammar that we know intuitively, but we don't. Like if I ask my friends back home in England, how do you turn this verb into the present perfect? I assure you they wouldn't know how to do it. But obviously they are using it really well. But the main thing is just think about how you can become a better teacher. Is that through training, through experience, a combination of the two? And what does that combination look like? It just depends on you and what you're teaching and what you want to learn. Like, for example, you can learn everything you need to know that you would learn in a TEFL course by reading books and watching videos. So it just depends on you and what you want to achieve. But yeah, going back to these revenue streams, I'd love to know what you think is the best one or what combination is the best. I like to have a little bit of a combination to increase it, but then also just to like hedge my bets a little bit in case something goes wrong with one of them. You never know, like YouTube channels get deleted, touch wood. Other things might happen. So a lot of these things might be out of your control. Like we're saying with Udemy, you might get booted off Udemy. And I'm not saying I don't know of anyone who's this happened to, but just because it's like a third party platform that they are in control of, it's out of your hands really. The thing about TEFL course is that it gives you a good foundation for the things that you need to know and think about in order to be an effective teacher. Yeah, I think it gives you a good foundation. I mean, it's you can easily argue though that you can get that foundation without taking a course. If you read a few books, if you study it on your own, if you take videos online. But yeah, I think it does give you a decent foundation. It's not specific to one-to-one lessons who are with teachers who are teaching online though. It's not specific to that. I think that's one of the drawbacks for people who want to do online teaching, because a lot of it is about how to teach English in a class to multiple people. And you'll find that in an online lesson one-to-one, it is very like one-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-one. How much should we charge clients and should we offer a free trial? Charging clients, it just depends. Like, no pricing is flexible. So you can increase your prices next week. You can increase it for all students or for new students. You can grandfather in students who signed up early, and they can pay a lower price for as long as they learn with you. But just think about going rates. Know that going rates vary by country. And it does come down to whether the student thinks what you're offering is value for money. That's all that matters. So start off by thinking about a rate that's, good enough for you. Know that you can increase prices as you go. Oh, free trial lesson. I think so. I think at the time, starting out, offer a free trial lesson. You can filter students out as you go. And as demand increases, that's when you can start charging for them. Do you teach on YouTube as a part job? So YouTube is part of my, it's mainly used to reach more people. and to bring them into what I'm doing. That's basically it. Where should I apply for online teaching? So I don't know. Like, I've recommended a few places in the past. It's difficult because as soon as people start hearing about companies who pay well and treat their teachers well, so many people flood there, and then the competition gets really high on those platforms. And I only really know of one company that people do recommend, and that's FAQS. Okay, everybody, I'll end it there. Go check out the links in the description. If you are new here, subscribe and then go through that free training that I have. I give an overview of what it's like to teach online and how to get students, and give you a roadmap so you can think about how to plan for this for the long term. There's also links to email marketing software that I use, all the things that I use in the description. And if you've enjoyed this, then please like and share. And thank you so much for being here. Bye for now.